I've never painted a whole truck before, which is probably evident at this point. Coming out of that tree, I'll fight you, leaves. Mess my paint job up.
Definitely not us ruining a perfectly good bumper.
Careful, that's still tacky.
Tacky.
Well, that escalated real quick, didn't it? I am about to sand this entire truck for the 6th, maybe 7th time.
Ding, 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 ding.
With some awesome hand-painted door lettering. And I can guarantee you right now, it's not what you think is gonna go on there.
Jeez. There's
No mistakes. It's just happy little accidents. And we are making a truckload of happy little accidents.
Patina. Never heard of her.
A fake patina. Taking a swig of red paint in my mouth and spit it all over the truck and done a better job. But guys, that is the ticket right there. Look at that. 2 steps forward, 13 steps backwards. Pretty sure they call that the crossthread jig. And we've been dancing it for months. Okay. Ow! Oh, kidney. No,
That's not
spleen?
your kidney.
Spleen.
Somebody said the same thing the other day. They're like, oh, my kidney. I was like, that's definitely not your kidney. He said it was his liver.
No, your kidneys are in your retroperitoneal area.
That's what I said.
Okay, welcome back to Crossthread Garage and Salvage. If you saw last week's episode, and if you
Seen them
haven't,
all.
this may be true. If you saw last week, you saw it all. But last week, we ended up with a horrible paint job on the C-10. Need you to look at how bad that is right there. That finish. It's not even like an orange peel. That's like an eggshell. This week, I teach Caitlin how to take a bad paint job and make it look worse. That's right, we're distressing and faux patinaing. Faux patinaing? Faux
Petting.
We're putting a fake
Faux.
we're putting a fake patina on the C-10 paint job this week. Thanks for joining us. Make sure to like, share, subscribe. Tell your grandma. I keep telling you to do this, but I guarantee you she's gonna love this. Every grandmother that's ever met me or Caitlin has loved us. So
You watched our broadcast on the YouTube.
so make sure.
Anyways,
So
make sure to like, share, subscribe, leave a comment.
you got it. Welcome back to the channel, guys. It is time to try and fix a horrible paint job. Now, I promise you, Caitlin is still a member of this channel. She is just involved in another night of volleyball. I can't tell you how happy I'll be next week when volleyball's over and basketball starts. Great. If you watched our episode last week, you saw this paint job started out horrible with a black base coat. This orange peel is so bad on the hood that I'm gonna have to go ahead and sand it before I put a second coat on. Then we managed to lay out a butter smooth black second coat. That looks so much better than the orange peeled mess I had last night. Matte black, it looked awesome. In fact, I actually thought to myself, maybe, just maybe, I'm gonna make this a black truck. I probably should have listened to myself when I was thinking that, but I didn't. Instead, I laid down the worst coat of red anyone has ever seen. Look at this. Holy smokes. I could have literally taken a swig of red paint in my mouth and spit it all over the truck and done a better job. I think I figured out the problem here though. So this is not orange coat technically. I think this was laid out with the gun. And I discovered 2 things while I was thinking about this and talking with some friends who have a little bit more experience than I do. The first is there might have been a little bit of water in the line. So I've drained my tank twice and there was water in the tank. So even though I was using one of these dryers, it might have been a little bit of water coming through the line. And secondly, I had put an extra 40 feet of hose on my compressor and moved it to the other garage while we were painting so that when it was running, I could still film in here. I'm not experienced enough as a painter to know that adding 40 feet of hose to your system is going to reduce the volume and pressure and a whole bunch of other technical stuff that I probably don't understand because I'm not a fluid dynamicist. But I have reduced back down to basically a 25-foot hose now. So what I'm gonna have to do here, guys, is try and fix this paint. And unfortunately, that means taking a heavy-duty Scotch-Brite pad to it. I've already started here on this door. You can see the coat that we laid down, the door that I'm fixing, and it is getting smooth, which is great for us. Bad news is, because I'm a terrible painter and I don't know what I'm doing. By the way, have I mentioned this is not an instructional video yet? Because I don't know what I'm doing, I am about to sand this entire truck for the 6th, maybe 7th time. So that's the plan, as if I had one. Before we're done, we are gonna sand actually back through most of this red to the black base and expose a kind of a faux patina paint job, along with some sweet door lettering that we've got a friend of ours gonna be doing on this truck. Make it stand out from the crowd of C-10 trucks for sale in Northern Ohio. I'm gonna get this done tonight while she's at volleyball. Hopefully when she gets home, I'll have a fresh coat of paint on here to show her, and you guys are along for the ride. Guys, I may have just figured out a big solution here. I want you to see what this looks like after sanding on it a little bit. This is actually what we're going for. Problem is I can still see a little bit of the texture, and I think once we get a clear coat on it, the texture is still going to bleed through. Let's see what some 600 wet dry paper does. Guys, I'm beginning to think that we might be able to salvage this without having to put another coat of paint down, which would be awesome, obviously. Call that sweat sanding.
What? No way.
I can't even begin to tell you how much better I feel about this. Let me tell you what I did here, because I'm not sure I got it all on camera. I went with a heavy grit Scotch-Brite pad, then a little bit softer grit. Then I got out my DA sander and put a 600 grit pad on it and went here, and it does in fact feel smooth. Hey, welcome home. What do you think of this? I was sanding it to prep for another coat of paint, and it started burning through, and I thought, well, I can practice and just see kind of how it goes, but it started looking pretty good, and I thought, I'm gonna get some wax remover and simulate what a clear coat's gonna look like there. But guys, that is the ticket right there. Look at that. You can still see a little bit of the texture that we were trying to get out of it, but I actually think it enhances, I think it makes it look like it's an old, chipped, beat up. Gracie, what do you think of it?
Good.
You like it?
Yeah.
Would you drive it?
Maybe.
She's the honest one. Love you. Thank you, Lord. That is a big relief. Big relief. Back to work. I got to work in the morning, so this needs to be done tonight. If you've been watching the channel for a while, you know there's a couple of things that I really try and impress upon Caitlin about the work that we're doing. First and foremost, if somebody else can do it, there's no reason that we can't learn how to do it. I've never painted a whole truck before, ever, which is probably evident at this point since this is part 2 of a budget paint job. But what I'm saying is, I'm getting the results that I wanted just by staying after it. And if somebody else can do it, I'm positive I can learn how to do it. And I'm positive that for 99% of you, you can learn to do it too, you know? It's like people saying, well, I'm not a reader. Well, hey, you would be if you read. What I'm saying is, this is doable. And I spent the last week and a half in absolute agony over what this paint job is gonna look like. And now I'm realizing that all the mistakes that I made as I'm sanding back through it, they're coming through and really making this thing look like I wanted it to look. This truck is gonna look like this because, in part, we just kept after it. So get out there, make your projects work for you by working on your projects. If I could drive a Patina truck all the time, I would. In fact, that's why I built my 47 Chevy over there that you guys have seen. So we're going for the worn out, weathered, sun-faded Patina. It's like Bob Ross used to say, guys.
No accidents. There's
No mistakes. There's
just
happy little accidents. And we are making a truckload of happy little accidents. Listen, I know there's some of you guys who are watching going, why would you make a paint job look like that on purpose? And I get that there's one way to do it right, and there's 100 other ways to do it almost right, and in fact, good enough. At least for the girls that I run with, which right now is you and your sister and your mom. So you guys gotta remember, I am a shade tree mechanic, not a shade tree paint and body man. I don't like doing this stuff. I don't enjoy doing this stuff. I find almost no satisfaction in doing this stuff, but it's gotta get done. So we're doing it.
Right,
Oh, hey, there's a paper towel.
Oh yeah, here comes Kool-Aid.
that actually really hurt.
It's another wonderfully dreary day here in Northern Ohio. And Caitlin and I are back at it today. We are gonna get the doors installed, close this thing up. Get ready for our friend Ron to come over and get some paint on this thing. So you guys are not gonna believe what we put on here. And I can guarantee you right now, it's not what you think is gonna go on there. What you think I would put on there is not what I'm gonna put on there. So stay tuned. So these door hinges are working about as well as Congress right now. So we're gonna go ahead and get them out of there, get them cleaned up. And what you need to do, Caitlin, is this pin is gonna drive out the top. This one is already out of part of the hinge. So we'll just need to work that up and out. All right, now we gotta press these bushings out right here. I'd like to go ahead and thank the sponsor of today's video, Crossthread Garage and Salvage.com. That means you. Every penny that you spend over at Crossthread Garage and Salvage.com goes directly to Caitlin. I'm not making a buck off of her. I'm not making any money off of this. In fact, arguably, I'm losing money. Boy, it's a good thing I'm more interested in making friends than I am making money. Start that one right there. 6 different bolts to line. You don't tighten anything down until you have it threaded in.
So you don't want me to tighten this at all until I get this?
Right. Alright, got a little bit of adjustment left to do. You can see the bottom of this gap is a lot wider than the top. And same thing back here. This is much closer here than it is here. So we actually need to bring the door, need to pivot the door like this. grab the bumper, Caitlin.
Run, Forrest, run!
Grab that Scotch Brite pad behind you. Scuff the whole thing up.
Definitely not us ruining a perfectly good bumper.
Ease into it. Not that far away. Bumper's gonna be pure as the driven snow. As we're going for more of a like a utility look on the truck, and you'll see why when Ron gets here. This can doesn't seem to have a ball in it. I got nothing. Oh, leaf action right in the middle. Right there. Okay, then I'm gonna just post up over here on leaf patrol. Any leaves start coming out of that tree, I'm gonna... I'll fight you, leaves. Mess my paint job up.
Jackie Chan, is that you? Can I paint this now?
No,
Dried.
it's not dry. No, it's not. It's not dry enough for another... It's not dry yet. So we're getting the bumper stickers off the bumper here, and because we don't need Lee Fisher or whoever it was that's underneath there. Ooh. We can make a ASMR video out of that. Use this to pull some vinyl decals off of my truck.
Oh, look at that.
So we're looking at the alignment here. One finger on this side.
One finger on this side.
No fingers on this side. So which way do you think that needs to go, Caitlin?
Oh, this way.
So if you got to shift the whole hood this way, right?
Yes.
Then we got to think about that with it up in the air. Where's the other bolt?
What are the bolts?
There's supposed to be 2 bolts in here. Check your pockets, make sure we don't have that laying somewhere.
I handed it to you.
Well, we've lost one of our bolts here into the abyss. We is in the royal we.
We is in me.
Apparently I lost it.
I gave it to you.
I don't know, it's probably going to be rattling around in the space between the firewall and the fender for the rest of the truck's life. Careful, that's still tacky.
You're tacky.
We're getting somewhere.
That white bumper is like my favorite part of the truck now.
Yeah?
Yes.
Guys, I went to Iowa this week and came home and all the leaves fall off my trees.
Because all you saw out there was green corn all the way out and all the way back, right?
No, they were cutting corn in Iowa.
Cut corn already, huh?
Yeah, they had it all down.
Yeah, they cut ours next to me several nights ago. My wife and I was outside at the campfire, and they was doing it while we was at the campfire.
Ron, how long you been doing sign lettering?
Since I was out of school. So it'd be, see, that was a long time ago. Almost 50 years, yeah, 45. Yeah, not all of it professionally, but...
He's just copying this from a photo on the phone there. Ron's getting ready to put a logo on the back of the tailgate here. You guys will see that before the episode's done. I'm not going to tell you yet what it's going to look like, but we're doing a theme on the lettering on this truck that I think is going to really help us when we sell it. So, Ron, the other night I told Caitlin that you were coming, and she said, "Isn't he the governor of Florida?" I said, his last name's Stefanis, not DeSantis.
I like Ron DeSantis, though.
She's hilarious.
The governor of Florida coming up to letter your truck. Huh?
What a privilege.
Okay, yeah.
Yep, that would be pretty neat.
That's pretty neat.
So what you've done here, and there's time lapse of it, but you just used a grease pencil and hand drew all of this. There's no stencil for any of this. So that's all hand done, and he's antiquing all of it, make it look like it's been there. Exciting news, guys. I want to show you our first giveaway truck. That's right. We are going to be giving away this Cleveland Indians Grounds Crew tribute truck to the first person who makes us a reasonable cash offer. Well, 3WE, WWWE Radio 1100, Cleveland, Ohio. Used to be the home of the tribe. So, hopefully, some Indians fan out there really appreciates what this is and what it's meant to be as a tribute to an old grounds crew pickup. So, Ron's doing a great job. I'm glad he's doing this today.
Well, thank you, sir.
Not going to get done today, but
Appreciate
that's okay. We knew this was a big job, and it might not get finished.
Well, I think it took longer to draw it out than it did to actually paint
You're
it,
not
though.
kidding about that.
1 day later.
Okay, we are going to grab the door handles and lock cylinders out of the old doors, this one and that one down there. And then eventually we're going to have to get the glass and the window regulator, the hand crank regulator, and all that stuff out of this door. Door handle's pretty simple. There's a bolt here. There's a bolt here. So we're going to have to move this regulator down or up. Ooh, I don't know. We're going to have to look at that. We got to get that bolt out. The lock cylinder is down in here. Let's get the camera in there. It is right down here. Can't see it. It's way down there. So there's a tab you have to pull out, and then the lock cylinder basically falls out the front of the door. You got to unhook it. Got to unhook it from the locking linkage, and then we have the lock cylinders that should match the keys, and then we have to do the same thing in those doors. Okay. You got to reach in there.
Oh, I got that. I got it.
Grab the lock cylinder
There's this thing that is in my way.
right there. It should come towards me.
Oh, what I'm turning.
First. Let me just evaluate it first. Okay, so this is the tab. I'm gonna go ahead and put it back in for you so you can have that experience on your own.
No, get out of my way. Yeah.
No, you can do this. It didn't come out that hard.
It's not coming out.
Bingo, bango, bongo. Okay. We've got one in. Caitlin's side is done. Ready to go. Yeah, you win because your side's done. Correct. That's the way it works. So, done playing with that ratchet?
Yes.
Let's get this other door on. And what you really ought to know about me is that I'm learning and willing to learn. And what I'm willing to learn, I'm also wanting to teach Caitlin. Not just how to do something, but really how to look at a problem and solve it. If you guys know how to do this better than what you've seen us do, let us know in the comments. We would love to, after the fact, when it's all done. That is so invasive.
Stop.
After this is all done, we would love to hear from you what we should have done differently. So put it down here in the comments. And if you haven't watched last week's video, it's up here somewhere, over here I think. So check that out and see what we did to get to where we are right now. So lock cylinder, door handle, going back on. Then maybe Caitlin will pull the mirrors out. Throw 6 bolts in, get 2 mirrors hanging today. What I'm gonna do, you see how nice and shiny these are. I am gonna leave the mirrors and the bumpers in like perfect shape. It's gonna be a nice contrast to the distressed paint that will make someone look at this from across the parking lot and go, there's nice shiny parts and old nasty parts. I want to go look at this. So we're just going to put this on real quick, see how it looks, but basically it just fits up to the holes. I feel like your socket doesn't fit that.
What? You just get rounded off?
No, it's way too big. Just looking past it.
It was right the first time.
Well, I don't know.
You told me I was wrong.
I don't know if you're right the first time, the fourth time, or what time, but that's not the right one.
But
I picked the right one.
this one's too big, and the one right next to it is too small. It fit that screw.
That is not a good fit. Not a fit.
The one right next to it is too small.
I think I could live with that. You want me to adjust the mirror for you?
Up. Oh, up. Okay.
You ready to drive, are you?
Up.
All right. Well, to be honest with you, I'm ready to be done too. Stick around, we're almost there.
One day later.
Well, that escalated real quick, didn't it?
Yeah.
I figured I'd have Marty come over 20-30 minutes to get these doors adjusted, only to realize that they're gonna have to come this way, which means we're gonna have to get in here to these bolts. So we had to pull the fender, and we're gonna have to do the same thing on the other side. Good news, I only broke two getting it apart, so
Cool.
two less I got to put back together. There is one coming through from the inside of the cab,
Yep.
so we might be able to get these two loosened up and
Pack it.
nudge it with a board. Well, guys, Marty had to take off. I wasn't going to show you guys this, but that's only because I'm one, Caitlin's not here. Two, it's not the work that I'm the most proud of, but I decided I'm just going to let you in on the behind the scenes here. So these hinges both had to come forward, and there was a gap the size of my finger in this whole door, and we had to shim it back. You can see the shim we've got in here. We had to shim the whole bottom end up to get it to latch, and it was actually basically against this. There was no gap here. I just spaced it out 1/8 of an inch, lined it up on both of them, did the same thing down here with this one, brought it full all the way forward, And so what we've done now is we've created a gap here on the back. If we did everything right, is going to match the front gap here. So these 3 bolts all come through from the outside, loosen them up. You can see the unpainted area where we moved it forward. Same thing with this one, except if you know anything about these doors, you know there's a 3rd bolt here that comes through from behind the dash. Well, I couldn't get behind the dash there because I wasn't going to pull the whole dash out just to adjust a door. So I decided to get my big hammer drill with a chisel out and a couple of good fresh metal bits, and I just drilled that thing out of there. And it's like this, guys. If 2 won't hold it, 3 never will. So, you know, 2 steps forward, 13 steps backwards. Pretty sure they call that the crossthread jig. And we've been dancing it for months. There was no other way for me to do it. So that's the part I wasn't going to show you, and now I've decided to show you. And all you guys that know better than me, you can go ahead and let me know in the comments about how long that door is going to hold its position. But the gap all the way around is just about as good as it's ever been. Matches all the way around, and I'm going to throw this fender back up here and just see where it lands. Nobody get excited yet. There we go. Oh, that's so much better. Shim this back up. Now that's a gap I can live with. That other gap that was there before that you didn't see was as wide as my thumb. I feel mucho better about that. Back in the garage tonight, Caitlin is going to get this front grille and headlight bezels installed, and I'm going to be working on the grille molding. Goes around. We ordered what I thought was going to be, you know, the good stuff from Summit. And apparently the good stuff doesn't come with good clips or fasteners. So we've got some good 3M automotive tape that we're going to use. And I went and got some bolts today. Not bolts, I went and got some nuts, from some nylon threaded nuts from the hardware store that actually will tighten down on this, kind of cut their own thread. Front end is going together. We don't have our headlights yet. That's another thing that I'm trying not to spend an arm and a leg on. You got that, Turbo?
Yes.
Trying not to spend an arm and a leg on the lights, but in the end it's probably just going to cost what it costs to get it done. So. So we're going to slap this bumper on here real quick, get the outside bolts in, and call it a night, because that pretty much wore out all the patience that I had. Not only are the aftermarket brackets that I bought for this apparently made out of recycled galvanized roofing tin, they are also not in the correct location. Right now we have 2 bolts holding the bumper on, but the good news is it appears to be level. So got that going for me. We gotta get tomorrow we're gonna have to get the mirrors off.
Why?
Paint them white. And then paint the rear bumper
Why
white.
did we I thought
I
we were
think-
painting the rear bumper white.
No, we've always planned on painting the rear bumper
We're
white.
not taking it off.
Right, we're not gonna take it off. We're just gonna mask off the back end. It does look pretty good, doesn't it?
I like it with the black mirrors.
With the what?
I like it with the black mirrors.
No, those mirrors definitely need to be white. The
I
bumper's
like it with
white.
black mirrors. I just don't like taking them off.
Yeah, it's hard work. And of course, that reminds me of Proverbs 15:19 that says, the way of the lazy is like a hedge of thorns, but the way of the upright is like a highway. Which, look, life's full of hard work, and the harder the work gets when it's done, for me anyways, the more satisfying it is. And it's a good thing to learn for someone Caitlin's age, that hard work can be really satisfying. And in fact, the more you do hard work the right way, the more ease and mobility you find as you move through life. So, Caitlin, would you do it all over again?
No. No way.
Mom thinks that we limited our audience. I call it targeted marketing. Somebody out there who appreciates Indian baseball history is gonna love this truck and have to have it. Well, it's done-ish. The paint anyways. What do you think, Caitlin? I think that is really cool. I can't believe how good this came out. I may not know the market on stuff like this, but I know what sells. And that is gonna sell. And the reason that we're selling this is so that Caitlin can fund the work on her 41 Ford. All the proceeds from this truck, merch sales, everything else,
This guy, this girl, this person, me,
it's going to her to make
the head honcho,
that truck
head lettuce,
work.
the main burrito,
We'll see you
a
next
big
week.
enchilada.
We'll see you next week. Thanks for liking, sharing, subscribing. Leave us a comment. Tell us what you think we're doing right and what you think we're doing wrong. We'd love to read
See
them.
you later.